Alright guys, how are you? Andy Sukhu, founder and CEO of Y2K Credit Solutions. I'm back. It's been a minute since I've been with this board and this marker, but I'm back here. Got some content for you, got some great content for you. And I just want to get into it today. So, class in session guys. Pull out your notepad. Today's topic is pay to delete. A lot of you guys hear this terminology, and it's heavily used in the credit repair industry, in the debt settlement industry. A lot of people counsel their clients, or they tell their clients about this terminology, pay to delete, or they try to do negotiations on behalf of their clients with the collection agency, and they use this term, pay to delete. A lot of you guys have heard this phrase on social media, Google, whatever. It's a phrase that everyone's using widely, and it's used widely in the credit repair industry. So today I'm going to break it down for you. We're going to talk about this. There's a couple things we're going to talk about: how it works. Is this a recognized process in the credit bureau? Pay attention to what I'm saying. Is this a recognized process in the credit bureaus? Is it a real thing? First, we're going to talk about, is it a real thing? Actually, we're going to go back. What is pay to delete? I'm going to break it down for you guys. What is pay to delete? Is this a real thing? But this line is very important. Is it a recognized process? Question mark. We'll talk about that. We're going to choose yes or no. Right? All right, let's talk about pay to delete. What is pay to delete? So pay to delete is, it's a phrase, it's a tactics that's used between a consumer and a collection agency, and it's an exchange. It's an exchange that, listen, I'll pay my debt, you remove it off my credit report. Or I'll pay a settlement, which is a lesser amount than what you owe on a particular debt, and you will remove it off your credit report. You being a consumer on the debt, you paying it to the collection agency is going to remove it from the credit bureaus or credit reports. Well, from the credit bureau, which essentially comes off your credit report. Now, you're basically putting the collection agency, excuse me, back against the wall. Is it worth it for them to remove this off of not one, but 3 credit bureaus for a settlement amount? We'll talk about this. Is it worth it? Right, so that's what what the phrase pay to delete means. It's an exchange, and where you basically you're bordering your service and listen, I'll pay this debt, you remove it off my credit report. Right, now the collection agency has to make a decision if they want to go that route, and if they do go that route, is it worth it for them to remove it from all 3 credit bureaus? Because remember, debt is reported to all 3 bureaus. Got it? Okay. Is this a real thing? Is this a real thing? And the answer to that, so when I say a real thing, is pay to delete a real thing? Does it happen? Which ties into this statement as well. Is it a recognized process? Is it a real thing? I have 2 answers here, yes or no. What you guys think? The answer is absolutely no. It's not a real thing. And I say this, it's because in the credit bureaus, we have something called Metro 2. I did a post about this. Metro 2 Standards. It's a book. It's republished every single year by the credit bureaus. And it's called also the Credit Reporting Resource Guide. That's what it's called in the credit bureau. This is Metro 2 is the book, the guidebook that every single credit reporting agency uses, and it's the code how things are reported on your credit report. That's really what it is. It's a book. It's this thick. It's a lot of pages. But it's what all 3 bureaus uses. Now, get back to this. Is it a real thing? Absolutely no. Because it's only it's only talked about and discussed on a collection level. Not on a credit report level. Not on a credit bureau level. Because they use Metro 2. How things are coded and how things are reported on your credit report. Okay? Is this a recognized process? And when I say recognized process, is it a recognized process by the credit bureaus? Not collection agencies. Recognized process by the credit bureaus. Not the collection agency. We'll talk about that as well. Is it a recognized process? Yes and no. You have 2 answers to that. And I'll tell you why. On the credit reporting side, on the credit bureau side, we use Metro 2 codes, guidebooks to report things. So now in the resource book, it says the only way collection items should be reported off your report is if it's incorrect, which is legitimate, unverified, which is legitimate, and call back, no collection, means the original creditor pulled the debt back. Then, and only then, it should be removed from the credit report. Those are the only 3 reasons it will ever be removed from the credit report if it falls under these 3. Okay? So, this is a collection, this is on the collection side. The only 3 reasons. This is on the credit bureau side, the only 3 reasons. Realistically, in the Metro 2, it literally states that it should not be removed. And this is language that's written, right? These are languages. It's called language in the bureaus, because you know everything's binary. Language where it says only for these 3 reasons it should be removed. Everything else should not be removed. It needs to stay there for the 7 years, right? Whether you pay it or don't pay it, it stays there for the 7 years. So when I say is it a recognized process, yes and no, let me tell you why. On a collection agency, you have like the mom and pop agencies, the little small, agencies that are now starting up and they're working out of their home. They have these rinky-dinky like library bills, gas bills, like whatever small companies they service. Right. I'm not talking about like the LVMV funding, the Midlands. I'm talking about the mom and pop collection agency. There's quite a few that came up. I believe there's a total of like 4,400 now. Mom and pop's new collection agency. In the industry. I believe that's the number, if I'm not mistaken. Those companies are the ones that will say, okay, fine, we'll settle the debt, we'll remove it. Right? That's a negotiation that you're making between yourself and the collection agency. But the bigger companies will not do it. Except for portfolio recovery, which is a different animal, and they move differently with the credit bureaus. They'll remove it, but only a mom and pop collection agency would honor this. The credit bureau would not honor it. So it's only up to the collection agency if they want to do that for you, at their discretion. It's not a process the credit bureau recognizes. The credit bureau does not recognize pay to delete. It does not say that in the Metro 2 guidebook. There is no language in that book that says there is a pay to delete process. Got that? All right, cool. So now, let's talk about if it's a formal or informal process. And this ties in to where I say, is it a recognized process? Informal, yes, by the collection agency if they agree to do it for you. But it's not a formal process and recognized by the credit bureaus. There is no forms, there's no dispute codes in the Metro 2 or the guidebook. There's no language for collections to say it has to be removed in the Metro 2 book. Right? There's no language. None of that exists in the book. In fact, there is actually more data in the Metro 2 that says it should stay on your report for 7 years, whether you pay or don't pay, because it meets the Fair Reporting Act laws. But in the Metro 2, they believe that other banks should know that you were delinquent, so they don't get burned. It doesn't say it in plain English like that, but if you ever read, you'll never see the Metro 2 because you're not from the bureaus. But it actually does say that. They'll believe that creditors and other creditors should see that you were not responsible with your debts with previous banks, so they should be cautious when lending out credit to clients. So it actually says that. So, pay to delete, guys, it's an informal process only by a collection agency, but it's not recognized by the credit bureaus. Some collection agencies will honor it, some will not. Some collection agency will get you to do a settlement and say, yeah, they'll do it, but they actually never do it, right? Just to get the debt resolved, collect their portion of the debt, get the debt satisfied out their office, yes. But it's not a recognized process by the credit bureaus. So there you go, guys. Everyone's always calling, talking about this pay to delete. I heard this company said they can remove it. Again, this is the truth behind pay to delete. It's monitored and ran by Metro 2, which is the guidebook for the credit bureaus. And that's it. Make sure I didn't miss anything for you guys. Oh, by the way, the only thing that changed in the Metro 2 I want to tell you guys is before like 2000, 2099, back in those years, when things were done by the credit bureaus, when data was updated, it was done by mail, right? So that's why some clients you were speaking to them, they say, oh, back in '99 they used this company and they fixed my credit and got everything off, because everything was done by mail. The credit bureau wasn't so as advanced as we are now. Now everything is electronically. And every single bank, every single financial company that lends money or credit uses the same form to send data to the credit bureau every single month. They all use the same form, the same codes. You're late, you're paying on time, you're in collection, charge off, you missed the payment, interest, whatever the data reports to the credit bureaus, all banks are using the same form. So there is no different forms that a creditor can submit to a credit bureau that says, oh, pay to delete, remove this. It doesn't exist, all right? But it only exists on the collection level. So guys, I just want to break down pay to delete for you guys. I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, leave a message. This is going to be live on our YouTube channel. If you haven't done so by now, click the link in our bio and subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right? See you guys soon. Got you. Be good.